Today we are going to learn why demand curve is negatively sloped. We all know that demand curve is negatively sloped. We know law of demand. See, formal definition of law of demand is other things remaining constant when price of a commodity goes up, consumer demands less of that commodity and vice versa. This is the formal definition of law of demand or statement of law of demand. Now we all know it, but why? Why does law of demand hold? What is the or what are the reasons behind this law of demand? So we have studied two theories. One is called cardinal approach, another is called ordinal approach. So through cardinal approach, we can prove law of demand. How? What is the equilibrium condition of cardinal approach? Let me write. What is the equilibrium condition of cardinal approach? Equilibrium condition of cardinal approach is that mu x by px equals to mu m. Now this is the equilibrium condition. Mu x by px equals to mu m. Now we all know by assumption this is constant. Now if this increases, denominator increases, numerator must also increase by same proportion so that this ratio remains constant. I repeat, if denominator increases, numerator must also increase at the same proportion such that the ratio remains constant because the ratio is mu m, which is by assumption constant. Now, let us assume px increases. Mu x must increase. But what is the assumption? We have assumption of diminishing mu x. So mu x can increase only when the consumer is decreasing consumption of x. I repeat, if diminishing mu x is the assumption, then mu x can only increase if consumer decreases consumption of X. So we can conclude that if price of X increases, X consumption of X decreases. This one. So that proves law of demand. That proves law of demand because if Px increases, consumer decreases consumption of X. Now we move on to the other theory. Now that other theory is your ordinal approach. Now in ordinal approach, equilibrium condition is MRS must be equal to Px by Py. And we know that we have diminishing MRS. So when the consumer increases X, MRS decreases. That is called diminishing MRS. And this is the equilibrium condition that MRS must be equal to Px by Py. Now if price of X decreases, what will happen? Now here we have two commodities. We are in a two commodity world. Now when price of X decreases, X becomes relatively cheaper. Why am I using the word relatively cheaper? Because maybe the price of X is higher than Y. Say price of coffee. Coffee is around 4,000 rupees a kg. And price of tea is maybe 800 rupees, 1,000 rupees a kg. Now price of coffee decreases from 4,000 to 3,000. Still it is higher than 1,000 rupees price of tea. But we are using the word relatively cheaper. Why relatively cheaper? Because we are dealing with relative price. Relative price of X we are dealing with. We are dealing with this Px by Py. Now if Px decreases, this ratio decreases. Okay, so relative price of X decreases. That is why we are saying X becomes relatively cheaper. Okay. Now If we go by the instinct of the consumer, then when price of X decreases, X becomes relatively cheaper, consumer will substitute Y by X without considering anything. I repeat, without considering anything, the consumer will substitute Y or some portion of Y by X. Hence, Y decreases, X increases. This is known as substitution effect. Here, income of the consumer is not important. Here, what is important? The purchasing power. Now, purchasing power of the consumer remains same. Let us assume. Now, generally, when price of a particular commodity decreases, purchasing power increases, because purchasing power is M by Px or M by Py. Now, here we are assuming that when price of X decreases, purchasing power remains same. That means we are taking away some of the income from the consumer. Okay, so that the purchasing power same. Purchasing power remains same. That means same number of units of X and Y the consumer can purchase. Okay. Now then also the consumer will substitute Y by X. Why? Because X becomes relatively cheaper. This is called substitution effect. Now let us go another step up, one step forward. What is that? Now that purchasing power gain I talked about. So now when price is falling, not only X becomes relatively cheaper, but also the consumer's purchasing power is increasing. So consumer now buy more of X, more of Y with that increased purchasing power. Hence, again consumer will increase consumption of X. So he is increasing consumption of X twice. Number one, when we are leaving the consumer at his or her original purchasing power. If price of X decreases, X becomes relatively cheaper than Y. Consumer is substituting Y by X. X consumption increases. The second one, now we are allowing him to enjoy the gain in purchasing power. So when purchasing power increases, consumer is buying more of X, more of Y also. Now he is buying because of the gain in purchasing power, he is buying more of X. This is called income effect. So there are two effects. One is called substitution effect, another is called income effect. Why? What is substitution effect? I repeat, when price of X decreases, X becomes relatively cheaper. If we allow consumer to buy only the previous combination of X and Y, then also he will substitute Y by X because X becomes relatively cheaper. This increase in X is due to substitution effect. Then when we allow the consumer to enjoy the gain in purchasing power, he will buy more of X as well as more of Y. So again he is buying more of X due to increase in purchasing power. This is called income effect. So demand curve is negatively sloped as per the ordinal approach due to substitution effect and income effect. Now see, we have taken one example here. Price of X is 10 and price of Y is 5. Consumer is buying X 5 units and Y 10 units. Okay. Now let us assume that price of X decreases from 10 to 6. Okay. 10 to 6. Price of X decreases from 10 to 6. Price of Y remains unchanged. Okay. So if price of Y remains unchanged and price of X decreases from 10 to 6. Now you have a 20 rupees saving. That is called gain in purchasing power. I repeat, this 20 rupees can be utilized to buy either X or Y or both. The consumer can buy, for this example, consumer can buy one extra unit of X and 2 extra unit of Y with the help with this 20 rupees, extra 20 rupees. This is called gain in purchasing power. My income is not decreased, but prices of all the commodities are decreased. Say whatever I am earning now, I'm taking my whatever I am earning now. Okay, if my earning remains same and somehow in time machine I go back to the world of 20 years back with the prices of 20 years back, then there will be a huge increase in my purchasing power. That is what we are talking about. Actual income remains same, but price of one commodity decreases. So you have a 20 rupee gain. Now that 20 with that 20 rupee, you can either buy 1 unit of you can buy your 2 units of X, or you can buy 4 units of Y, or any combination. You can buy 1 extra unit of X, 2 extra unit of Y. It depends on your preference, etc. That we cannot decide from here. But we can only say that this is called purchasing power gain. Now, let us discuss substitution effect here. Now, what we are saying, we will take away this 20 rupees from the consumer. We will leave the consumer at his or her old purchasing power. That means he will buy 5 units of X and 10 units of Y. But still he will change. Why he will change? Because X becomes relatively cheaper. How X has become relatively cheaper? Because relative price of X, Px by Py. Earlier it was 10 by 5. Now it is 6 by 5. So relative price of X decreases from 2 to 1.2. If you calculate, it is coming to, it is 1.2. So relative price of X decreases, X becomes relatively cheaper. See, actually X is not cheaper. See, it is 10 rupees, it is 5 rupees, and it has decreased to 6. Still it is not cheaper. Absolute term, it is not cheaper, but relatively X becomes cheaper. Why? Because of this. Because of this relative price we are talking about. 10 by 5 was the relative price. Now it is 6 by 5. So X becomes relatively cheaper. Consumer will buy more of X, even if we take away 20 rupees from him. This is the substitution effect. The next part, actually we cannot take away 20 rupees. This is for our analysis we are saying. But actually so we cannot take away 20 rupees from each and every consumer. So the consumer is retaining that 20 rupees with him. So with that 20 rupees now, he can buy both of X, both more of X, more of Y. This is the catch. This extra 20 rupees will be spent on both the commodities because both are normal commodities. Okay, and in a two commodity world, if consumer is gaining 20 rupees, he or she will spend on both the commodities. So again, consumption of X goes up. Consumption Y also goes up as well, but here we are considering only X. So for substitution effect, consumption of X is increasing, and for income effect also consumption of X increasing. So if you combine these two effects, it is called price effect, which is a summation of substitution effect and income effect. So the price effect is the demand effect. That is proving law of demand. When price falls, consumer is buying more of a commodity. That's it.